So draining the coolant out. It's looking pretty clean. You're gonna remove the shroud on the radiator. Side looks pretty clean. Side's a little nasty. I think I'm actually just gonna take the radiator out to make it easier to access. And then I'll take the grill off too. And then I should be able to access in here a lot better. And then we're gonna take the fan off and then the belts off. Alright. I gotta get the fan off. Alright. Got the fan off. The belts. If you want a little bit more detail on how to take the fan and belts off, I've actually made another video. I'll link it below. I think I can actually put it up there or something. So, yeah, so I took the filter assembly off. I'm gonna start taking the head cover off. Right. Let's look down in here. Let me get a light. Not seeing any damage. The guide looks to be in place. So the tensioner, took that bolt off there, 14mm. There's another one up here, and then I just left that one because it's not coming out anyways. There's not enough clearance. But you could just you can just pivot it up around, and that way you can access the water pump. Alright, so I'm going to show you a little trick for getting the pulley off. Don't forget, and this is really important, to disengage your distributor. That way it doesn't try to turn on. So just unplug that guy, or this guy. I usually take it from there. So you try to turn this and the engine just turns, right? So what you gotta do is you get your breaker bar and you wedge it over here on the right side, not the left side, because the engine's gonna turn this way. And so if you put it on the left side, it's just gonna whip over here, break things. I have to remove the power steering in order to access these guys right back here. There's a couple. Yeah, so there's a coolant tube down there. Let's see. So there's one, and then there's another one down there, but you can't really access them. So, and then there's also this coolant tube right here. And it's kind of accessed right down there, and this is just in the way. So I think I figured it out. So you really just got to loosen this guy up, which is just that, and then the one connecting right here, and then you can leave that one on to just kind of swivel, and then you got to disconnect this one down there, one over here, and then there's one back here, right there. And then there's also one up here in the front, down here, right there. If you disconnect all of those, it looks like the whole assembly with that should come loose. Now it opens up this whole area, and then I might have to take this off. So it looks like I'm gonna have to take this bracket off right here, which is connected down here, I believe. One. Alright. Easy. So there's a bolt back in here, so we're gonna have to take this off at the very least. Right. Alright, with this twisted out of the way, I should be able to access that guy. That one. So I went ahead and removed those two bolts. The next step, I gotta remove the piece that's kind of connecting the head to the top right here. And to do that, I think I gotta remove that guy. Alright, so took the water pump off and the oil pump. Set them over here. That was looking a little rusty. So I think I almost got it off here. There you go. Here's what it is. There you go. I was fully expecting this guide to be broken, but it's not. I heard slapping, and I think that's because this tensioner is bad. So I got a new tensioner, and we'll go ahead and replace that. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take the guides off. So that's, we got the left guide, we got the right guide. Someone had commented on a video thinking that my timing chain guides were broken and I was slapping, but they're actually fine. I thought they were too. Anyways, so we'll go ahead and put these new tensioners on that are metal, and we're going to replace the chain. Taking the chains off pretty easy, you just gotta kind of wiggle it off. We can take the top gear off. There's the top gear. Pretty well cleaned up. There's still a little gasket on there, but I'm just gonna call it good. If something happens to it, I'll just make another video and it'll be to your benefit. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the chain and put the top gear back on. And then some gunk fell down in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the gasket on, put the timing cover on, and then I'm going to dump a bunch of oil through the top and see if I can drain some of that gunk out. New oil tensioner. Go right there. And now I'm going to put these metal guides on. There's two of them right here. Pretty sturdy. Hopefully they hold up. I'm sure they will. The other ones were fine, but you know, better safe than sorry. Alright, so I got the chain on, the oil pump, and the chain guides. Guides are pretty easy to get on. I do suggest putting the oil pump on after the chain. It was a little bit easier than trying to put the chain on with the oil pump already on. It's just a little tip for you. I totally thought these would have broke. This one's got some grooves in it. Go ahead and apply the gasket sealant one side, and then we're going to put the gasket on. I got both sides on. A little messy. I think it'll be fine though. I'm going to put some seal on the bottom. And then I think the top should be fine. I'll put a little sealant on there. And then after I cover it, I'll put a little sealant on the outside. But yeah, let's go get that sealant. Alright, got the gasket seal on. Got a little bit on the top. A little bit of the gas seal on the bottom right there. Gas seal on the top. Gaskets, good to go. So let's put this on. This might be the most difficult part, is getting these two back in here. There's not very much room. You're just gonna have to kind of figure it out. It's pretty slow. So I'm setting the timing after installing the new timing cover, or timing chain cover. So I started by setting that guy to 0. And when I set the timing chain, I was careful not to mess with the cam or the drive shaft. That way I was just able to put the chain straight on, and so that's why I don't have a link up here. You should have a colored link at the top, and I just forgot to match it up. It's not a big deal, but if you're doing a complete rebuild, it just comes in handy for marking. But I got this piece right here, which mine's a little bit to the left, but so top dead center, you'll see we got this part of the camshaft pointing that way, and then we got this part of the camshaft pointing that way, and this is the intake and the exhaust. So we're at the top dead center right there, and you can tell is that, and then down here we're at 0. Keep in mind, this down here will make 2 turns for every 1 turn up here. And then if you go over to the distributor, it'll look like that. And then the distributor cap goes on right there, and so you'll see it's lining up with the number 1 cylinder right there. So your top dead center is going to be at the number 1 cylinder, top dead center, and then I hear some people put it at 5. I'm just putting mine at 0. It seems to work just fine. So, you know, maybe do a little research. So let's go ahead and start it up, and then if you see over here, I just hand tighten this, and I can actually move it a bit. So I'll show you why you want to do that after I start it up. It's running fine now. It kept shutting off earlier. It's been really good, actually. Check the timing real quick. So. A little bit more. See that? See that mark? So let it sit overnight. Checking the coolant. Coolant's good. Check the dipstick. Got plenty of oil. No fresh drips down here. So we got no leaks.
rev it a little bit.